Welcome back. Alton Balogun joins us now to take us through sports news.
That's right. Now the stage is set for the draw for the third edition of the African Nations Championship, otherwise known as CHAN. That's the final draw, which will be held on tomorrow, Wednesday, in Cairo, Egypt. Now 16 teams, including Nigeria, will enter the draw of the tournament, which kicks off on January the 11th, 2014. All teams except host South Africa will be ranked based on their performances during the last two editions of the competition in 2009 and 2011. South Africa, Congo DR, Ghana and Zimbabwe are placed in Pot 1. Pot 2 is made up of Gabon, Mali, Libya and Uganda. Burkina Faso, Burundi, Ethiopia and Nigeria are in Pot 3, while Congo, Mauritania, Morocco and Mozambique are in Pot 4. Now, with just 7 matches left in the Nigeria Professional Football League, the management company has declared a state of emergency, starting with Wednesday's Week 32 games. The declaration is the highlight of a 12-point resolution that was reached at a joint consultative meeting between the league management company and club owners held in Lagos. In a statement made available to Channels Television, the resolution is part of other intervention measures designed to curb intimidation of match officials and crowd encroachment on the field of play. Some of the decisions reached include that the LMC will appoint independent and secret match assessors and security coordinators whose findings and reports shall form part of the official match reports. Now on to the UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich kicked off their title defense with an emphatic 3-0 win over CSKA Moscow. Now David Alaba opened the scoring in the 4th minute before goals from Mario Mandzukic and Arjen Robben completed the rout of the Russians. David Moyes began his reign as Manchester United manager with a 4-2 victory over Bayer Leverkusen on the night that Wayne Rooney scored his 200th goal for the club. World's highest paid footballer Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick as Spanish giants Real Madrid handed down a 6-1 demolition of Galatasaray. Rugby centre Manu Tulagi has apologised for making a bunny ears gesture behind the head of the British Prime Minister David Cameron in a photo call. The British and Irish Lions were invited to the Prime Minister's official residence to celebrate their 2-1 series win over Australia, but the Leicester Tigers player ended up courting controversy. The 22-year-old took to his Twitter account to apologise for his latest misdemeanour and thanked the Prime Minister for hosting him and his teammates at Downing Street yesterday. And finally, Floyd Mayweather could follow up his fight against Amir Khan. The head of Showtime Sports has given the green light to the fight as long as Khan can defeat IBF welterweight champion Devon Alexander in New York in December. Mayweather is 2 fights into a 6-fight deal with Showtime Sports, whose chief, Steven Espinoza, reveals it's a fight that he would like to see happen. He has raised the possibility of the bout taking place in Britain. And Mayweather outclassed Alvarez in Las Vegas on Saturday night to take the Mexican's WBA and WBC super welterweight titles by majority decision. That's in the sports news. Amarachi will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Guinness, made of more.
Now, on to foreign stories. Now, there will be no meeting as previously scheduled between Brazil and the United States because of a row over allegations of U.S. espionage. The U.S. National Security Agency has been accused of intercepting emails and messages from the Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff, her aides, and state oil company Petrobras. The allegations of widespread espionage against Brazilian citizens were first published in July by Rio de Janeiro-based journalist Glenn Greenwald, a reporter for the British Guardian newspaper. Meanwhile, Cynthia Reyes standing by with other stories on the foreign scene, especially a discovery that the ex-U.S. Navy reservists who killed 12 people and wounded 8 at the Washington, D.C. Navy installation had received treatment for mental health issues.
Yes, indeed. Just a day after the Navy Yard shooting in Washington, it has emerged that 34-year-old Aaron Alexis was treated for paranoia, trouble sleeping, and hearing voices. Before Monday's shooting at the Washington Navy Yard, he was employed as a technical contractor there. He was shot and killed by police during the attack. Meanwhile, Egyptian police have arrested Muslim Brotherhood spokesman Jihad al-Haddad. He was found with 2 other Brotherhood officials in a flat in Cairo. Then, Bangladesh's Supreme Court has rejected the appeal of an Islamist leader against his jail term for war crimes and sentenced him to death. In February, Abdul Qadir Mullah of the Jamaat-e-Islami party was convicted by a special tribunal of crimes during the 1971 War of Independence with Pakistan. Finally, hundreds of illegal migrants have torn down part of a 6-meter-high fence that surrounds the Spanish territory of Melilla in North Africa. About 100 people broke through from Moroccan territory, illegally entering the European Union. 6 Spanish Civil Guard officers were hurt in clashes with the police. And those are the top stories on the Foreign Scene.
And the main news again, the National Assembly today reopened to a rowdy session in the House of Representatives as the lawmakers engaged in a fight over the visit of the chairman of the new PDP to the lower chamber. Senate President David Mark has backed call for the convocation of National Conference to resolve the question of Nigeria's coexistence. A federal high court in Port Harcourt has stopped Tony Weah from contesting the November 16 governorship election in Anambra State. And Brazilian president is called off for state visit to Washington over allegations of U.S. espionage on her country. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.